Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of modeling. In today's video, I will be modeling this lovely table lamp and I will go in detail modeling of all of this. So stick till the end. I will show you step by step. So don't forget to like and subscribe. So let's get started. Okay, so I will begin. And before I begin, just take a look on this bottom corner over here. Keep an eye when you need to see the shortcut key. Okay, so I will begin. I will press Shift A and I will add a plane. And I will press N on my keyboard and I will change this dimension. This is going to be 40 centimeter by 40 centimeter. Okay, and the overall height is 75 centimeter. So I will raise this up, press G and Z, and I will just type in the value over here, 75. Okay, and now I will go into the edit mode, press tab, and I will extrude it. I'll extrude down to about 23 centimeter. So in negative 23 centimeter, I will enter the value. So this is dimension reference for the shade. Okay, and this is the overall height from the floor. Okay, so first I am modeling the shade. So this is just a reference guide. Okay, so now I will begin. I'll go to my top view and I will press Shift A. I'll add a circle and I'll just enter the value 40 and I'll go to the wireframe view and I will bring this in position. I'll go to the front view and press G to move this up and about here, somewhere here. Okay, I'll bring it over here. So the overall height is 75 centimeter and I will press tab and all of these vertices are selected. So what I will do is I will extrude it down and in the Z I'll press Z and this is going to be minus 23. Okay, and this one I can just delete, press delete. So I'm left with this circle and now I will press tab to go into the edit mode. I'll press Control R and I will click to accept and then right click to keep it in the center and then I will scale it inwards. Press S to scale and then just move the mouse inwards slightly over here. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Now I will bevel this, Control B, and then I can just bevel it about here. Okay, we're getting there. And now I will add more loop cuts. So press Control R and then I will click and then I'll drag the mouse and I will click about here. So let's note the value over here. So let's make this 0.85. Okay, so I'll remember this value. I'll do the same for the bottom. Control R, click and then just bring the mouse and somewhere here, click to accept and I can just enter the value in negative minus 0.85. Okay, press enter. So the distance for the top and the bottom is same. And now I will make a selection. I'll go to switch to the face selection and alt click on the edge over here so that I can select the entire face loop. So alt click. All right, and then I will press Shift Alt click. Okay, and now what I will do is I will extract this. So I will press P on my keyboard and then click on selection. Okay, so I'll just deselect everything. So this is the extracted object. I'll just move and check. Yeah, this is the only thing. And now for this one, I will add thickness. This will be thicker than the main shade over here. So I will just go to the modifiers tab and then add a solidify modifier. Okay, so I'm getting some weird result is because you can see the scale value is off. So I'll remove this modifier and apply the scale. So Control A and then click on scale. Okay, so now this is fine. And now I'll try again, add modifier solidify. Okay, so the thickness is going on the inside, so I will bring it on the outside. And while I'm dragging this, I will hold shift so I can control it much better. So minus 0.3. Yeah, this is fine. And now I will continue. I will select the main shade and apply the scale. Press Control A and then click on scale. So the scale value is fine. I'll go to the front view, press tab and then alt click to make a edge selection over here. And then I can extract this. So press P and then click on selection. So this is the extracted edge. All right. Press tab to go into the edit mode. Press A to select everything. And I will extrude. E to extrude. And I will press the X key. And this much about here. All right. And now I will add thickness to it. So I'll select this, press tab, and I'll switch to the face selection and select everything. Press A to select everything and then extrude it out. So I will press E to extrude and then just bring it out a little bit so that it remains within the thickness of this upper ring. Okay, so this is what I wanted. And now I will start to duplicate this. So I need this two on each side. So I'll switch to the front view and okay, I'll go to the top view actually. And let me take a look. The pivot should be in the center. So I will right click and set the origin to the 3D cursor. So this is the 3D cursor over here. Okay, so now my origin, the pivot point is here in the center, and now I can easily position this. So I'll press R to rotate and then I'll just bring it over here, enter minus 30, actually minus 25. Okay, so I will duplicate this as an instance. So I will press Alt D and press R to rotate and bring this here in 0 and actually add the value 25. Okay, so this way I've added 2 on this side. Okay, so what I will do now is select both of these and deselect the rest. Okay, so only these two objects are selected. So what I will do is duplicate it one more time, but as an instance, so they are linked to each other. So I'll press Alt D and press R to rotate, and I will rotate this 90 degrees. So I will just type in the value 90. Okay, this is good. And I'll duplicate this one more time as an instance. So I'll press Alt D and press R so that it goes into the rotation mode and type in the value 90. One last time, Alt D, press R to rotate, and I can just type in the value 90. So let's take a look. In the solid view, And yes, this is what I want. For the main shade over here, I want to give some thickness to it. Okay, so while this is selected, come over here and add a modifier, solidify, and this is going to be much less thick. It's going to be -2, so it has some thickness to it. Okay, so this is fine. And now I will add subdivision modifier to it. So go to add modifier, subdivision surface. Let's scroll down. So this is the one. Okay, and I will right click, click on shade auto smooth, select this and add the modifier, subdivision surface. Something is not right with this. This mesh is not good. I'll isolate this. Let's take a look. Something is not right. Okay, so anytime there is some weird artifacts, so what you can do is come over here to mesh, normals, and recalculate outside. So I did the outside and the inside as well, just to be on a safer side. And then when I applied the add modifier, subdivision, that was fixed. Okay, so I can exit the isolation now. Press the number pad key, /. Okay, so this is fine, but now this needs some adjustments. So I'll press tab and click on this so I can see the original cage, and I can add edge loop. So Control R, click, and then I can just position it right here so it can hold the shape. Press tab. Now you can see. Okay, and this is fine. I'll do the same thing over here for the bottom. Control R, click, and then just move it all the way down over here, and then I can press Control R so I can add more information for the sides as well. So I will add again on for the other side. Yeah, press tab and then I can see the entire thing. Okay, and now I can hold this shape even more tighter by adding loop on this side as well, and then for the front and the back. Okay, so now it looks much better. Let's take a look what's happening over here. This just needs the modifier to be applied. So I just increase the level for the viewport. It's good. So I'll come over here and apply the subdivision modifier for all of these. So the modify part is not instance, but any edits made to the object is linked, but not the modifier. So this could be beneficial in some ways. Okay, and then so two more. Just add subdivision. This is, I guess, the last one. Yep, fine. So now I will add subdivision to this as well, but before doing it, I would like to add loop cuts. So I'll press Control R, then move this up, and then press Control R again, and then move this down. Okay, so this is having this thickness modifier applied to it. So let's add the subdivision surface and increase it. Looks fine. this one needs to have the loop cut applied to it. So let me just disable it so I can see better. So Control R and just move this up. So Control R one more time and then bring this all the way down. Okay, this is fine. So this gap I don't like. This is happening because of the subdivision modifier. So what I can do is go into the edit mode. So now I'll select everything. I'll switch to the wireframe view, make the selection, and now I can raise this up, press G and move this up. Okay, so how much it is? 0.5. Okay, so the same value I will enter for the bottom. So select all of the bottom vertices and move it in the negative. So press G and Z and then move it down, and I can just enter the value minus 0.5. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so this is good. Okay, so in order to reduce this gap, I can scale this outwards, the main shade. Or this thickness, maybe I can reverse the thickness. So minus 0.2. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, this is doing the trick. So this is fine. So the shade is complete. So next I will be modeling the top part over here. So the first thing is I will create the support. So I'll go to my top view and I will add a cube, Shift A, and I will add a cube. Okay, so this cube is big. I'll reduce it. So I'll scale it down and scale it down further. I will switch to the wireframe, press Z and click on wireframe, and then scale it down further. Okay, and now I can press tab and select vertices on this side and then move it outwards all the way till the end, somewhere here. Okay, and let's take a look. Yeah, so I will bring this up in the front view. So I'll grab it, move it all the way up. Let me zoom in. Okay, so I'll move it up further in the Z and then just keeping it inside the ring. Okay, and then I can go into the edit mode and grab the bottom vertices and then move it up. So just keeping it within the thickness of the ring. Okay, yeah, so now let's take a look. This is fine, and I will apply the scale. You can see the scale value over here. So I will press Control A and apply the scale. And now when the scale is applied, what I can do is can press tab, and all of these vertices, I want these vertices to start at this origin. So the easy way to do is just enter the value 0 for the X. Okay, so now all I need to do is position this with all of these vertical detailing that I've created. Okay, so in my top view, in my wireframe view, I'll start to rotate it. So press R to rotate and just move the mouse. So I'll just come closer and rotate it one more time, making sure that it is just in the center of this support. Okay, so you get the idea. And now I will duplicate this as an instance. So I'll press Alt T, and now it is attached to my mouse pointer. So I'll just press R, so I can just rotate it and just roughly place it in the center of this vertical detail. Alright, so I'll repeat the process, Alt T, and then press R, and then just move it over here. Okay, and then I'll repeat the process, Alt T, press R, and then just move it over here. Okay, repeat the process, Alt T, press R, then just move the mouse so it just almost centered to that vertical detail. Alt T one more time, and then just bring it over here. Okay, then few more left, Alt T, and then press R, so I can rotate it. Okay, one last time, Alt T, R, and then just move it over here. Okay, let's take a look. Solid view. Okay, so we have a bit of a mess over here. Since these are instances, what I can do is go to my top view, select one of these. I'll grab this one and press tab to go into the edit mode. And in my wireframe view, I'll select all of the vertices, these ones, and I will try to move it in my local axis. All right, if I press G to move, and I will press X for the X axis, and I'll press X one more time, it changes to the local. Now I'll just move it right about here. Okay, so that they have a, so they are not intersecting with each other. Okay, this is good. And now I will create a platform over here. So you guessed it, the shape will be a circle. So I'll create a circle mesh, scale it down, scale it down, scale it down all the way here, and then just move it up in place. Press G to move. Just bring this up all the way here, and then go into the edit mode, and I'll press F to create the face, and then E to extrude, something like this. Okay, maybe raise it up further, as you can see. And now maybe I can take one of these and then just push it back in. So press G and press X and X one more time, and now you can see it has created this local axis red line. So now I can just push it in. Okay, this looks much better. Fine. Now I will create this crystal looking object. Press Shift A, and I will add UV sphere. Zoom out, and let's expand the settings, and I will reduce the rings. Okay, I will reduce the segments. Let's take a look. Maybe 12. I'll keep it 12. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, and now I'll reduce it because it's fairly big. So scale it down and move it up in place. Scale it down further. Bring it over here, and then press tab. In my wireframe view, I'll just grab these vertices, push this up. Okay, and then grab these ones, scale it in just a little bit. Okay, so now you get the idea, getting the shape. Okay, so this is good. So what I will do is grab, select these faces, these face ring. Okay, so I'll fish to the face selection and alt click on one of these edges. So alt click on the edge, we'll select the entire face selection ring, and then I can go to face and click on poke faces. Okay, so now it has given me an additional set of faces. Then I can switch to the vertex mode. I can control click the vertex mode, so it will select only these vertices, and now I can scale it out a bit. Okay, yeah, this is fine, so I'm happy with this. And then I can just place it, push it and adjust a little bit. Okay, yeah, I like this, I'm happy with this. So this part is done. I'll create a mesh circle to start. Shift A, and I'll create a circle and scale down it. Yeah, scale it down, and then press tab, and then press F to create the face, and then E to extrude. Okay, this is very thick, so I'll scale it down further, move it up in place. In my front view, just push it up further, somewhere here, and I'll zoom in, press tab, and in my wireframe view, just push it down just a little bit, raise this up, and then I will add more detail, 2 of it. Okay, and then these ones at the top, I'll just scale it outwards and bring this down, and the bottom one I'll scale it out just a little bit more, and then I will inset the face, press I to inset, and then I can extrude it out. I'll go back to my object mode. I will add a subdivision modifier to it to increase the levels, and then I can add more detail to it. So for example, this bottom face, I'll select it, and then I will press I to inset, so it holds the shape better, and then I will press I one more time. So now this is looking much better, and then I can press Ctrl R to add more detail, so I can just control this shape over here, as you can see. So the same thing we'll do over here. I'll select this edge ring, I'll select the face, press I to inset, and I to inset one more time. Okay, so let's take a look on the original cage, what's happening. So this over here, I'll try to select this face ring over here, and let's turn on the effect, scale this in. Okay, so this is, I can just turn this off. Edge ring over here, let me grab this and move it up all the way here. Let's take a look. And this one, I can alt click to select the entire loop and scale it out. Okay, and then I can add one more just to hold this shape nicely, maybe about here. Okay, so you get the idea. So now, so this is the one that will be holding our next shape that I will create. So I'll go to my top view and press Shift A. I will add an ellipse, zoom out. Okay, so we have a settings panel over here. So I'll change this from 2D to 3D. Okay, and the rest is fine. Okay, I'll just minimize it. So I'll scale it down. Okay, switch to the object mode, and I will rotate this in 90 degrees. Okay, scale it down further. And now I want to make this standing up, so I'll rotate it along the x axis and I'll press 90. Okay, so in my front view, I'll just position it somewhere here, and I will scale this in the z axis. So scale it, and then I'll press the z. Okay, so the shape is getting better. Move it up in place somewhere here. Okay, and then reduce it further. Move it up, bring it down, and then take this one. I'll just scale it, bring it down. Let me make the pivot point to the center of this. Right click, set origin to geometry. Now if I scale it, somewhere here, and this one, I'll just scale it out just a little bit. This is fine. And you can see the scale value is off, so I can apply the scale. Control A, apply the scale. This is fine. And I will come to the curve settings, expand the geometry, and then under the bevel, I will give thickness to it. I'll give 0.5. And let's take a look. I'll give it more, 0.8. Okay, this is fine. 0.8 is fine. So I will make a duplicate of it. So in my top view, I will press Alt D. So I want to make it as an instance, Alt D, and just move it in the Y axis. So I'll place it next to it. Okay. Reduce the gap. So I'll press G and Y and just bring it closer. Same thing I'll do, Alt D, and in my Y I'll just push it out. So this is how it's coming together. Okay, so this is fine. So I think I will create additional detail for this one so that I can hide this. What I can do is press tab to go into the edit mode, and I will add more loop cuts. Press Ctrl R and then bring it up over here, somewhere here, and then press Ctrl R one more time. So I'll create a loop cut and bring it over here. And now this part, I will select the entire face ring. So alt click in the face selection. So I'll alt click on the edge. So while this is selected, I can press E to extrude. Okay, and then just leave it as is. And now the newly extruded face is sitting right over here. So I'll press E to extrude one more time. Okay, and then again leave the newly created faces right there. Right click, and then I need to push it out equally from all directions. So that can be done by pressing Alt S and then move the mouse. Okay, so let's turn off this smooth display. You can see what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I'll push it out further so that I can encompass this. So Alt S, so I'll keep pushing it out. I think this is fine, and I can create more edge loop to hold this shape better. Control R one more time and then just bring it down over here, and then I need to hold the shape from this side as well. We take a look, then this is looking fine already. Okay, so you get the idea. All right, so for this one I will just press tab, and then I will select this face over here, press I one more time, and then E to extrude. Okay, and then press I so that the shape is better, and I one more time. Okay, so this shape I will hold it. So let me turn this off, and I'll press Ctrl R and just move it down. And now let's take a look. Yeah, this is much better. Okay, so now I can just, in my wireframe view, I can grab all of these vertices and just push it up. Okay. All right, so now I will create the bottom support, the base of it, which is fairly simple. I'll start with a plane. I'll press Shift A, Mesh Plane. Scale it down like this. I'll apply the scale. Control A, apply the scale. Press Tab to go into the edit mode, and then E to extrude somewhere over here. And I will add loop cuts so that I can extrude the legs of it. I will add loop cuts, so Control R, mouse wheel, click to accept, and then right click, and just scale it out in the red line, that is the x-axis, somewhere here. Okay, I'll do the same thing over here. Control R and then mouse wheel, click to accept, and then right click and scale it in the green line. Scale and press Y. Okay, so this is fine. Now I'll press Control R. Okay, then press Control R. The reason I did this, so I can extrude the leg part. So this will be the thickness of the legs that will be extruded out. Alright, so I'll do the same thing over here. Control R and then just push it back a little bit. So we have this L shape over here. So I'll do one over here. Push it out just a little bit. So we have this L shape. So now I'll start to select. Click, shift click, and then continue over here. Shift click, and then shift click to add to the selection. And now I will just extrude it out. Okay, so this is good. I'll push this up so that it's sitting on the origin. All right, and now select this face over here and then press E to extrude. Okay, then I'll press I to inset. One more time. Okay, and now I will add beveling to it. So I will press Tab to go into the edit mode and press A to select everything and press Control B. And this way I can add a beveling effect. Let's take a look. So 0.06, maybe I can increase it to 0.1. Yeah, this is looking much better. This is fine. So the base is done. Okay, and now I'll create a piece that connects the base and the ring. All right. Okay, so I will create a mesh circle. Shift A and circle. I will scale it down and press G and Z to move it up somewhere here. And let me go closer, and I'll scale it down further somewhere about here, and press Tab, press F to create a face, and then press E to extrude. Okay, I'll switch to the front view and push this down, and now I'll start to modify this. Press tab and I will add more loop cuts here, and then one here in center and one here for the base. Alright, so this one I will alt click to select the entire loop and then scale it down, something like this. And for the top part here, I will push this down. So I'll select all of these and push it down like this. And actually I think I need to reduce the radius of it, so I'll scale it down like this, and I can then raise this up somewhere here, and I'll create another loop over here, and I will apply a bevel to it so it's a little bit thicker, and push this down just a little bit, and I will select again. I press undo so I get the selection, and with this selected I will extrude, so I'll press E to extrude and then just right click. Okay, and then I can push these faces inwards, so I'll press Alt S and move the mouse so they can go inside. All right, and then I can create an edge loop that can hold the shape better when I apply the mesh smooth. So Control R and just creating to hold this shape tightly, and then this one I can inset a couple of times. All right, and then I can add more edge loop over here just quickly, just to hold this shape. All right, this one I will leave as is, but over here I would definitely add one over here, and then this one I'll just give a bevel and push this in, scale this in just a little bit. For the bottom I will add an inset again couple of times. Yeah, and let me try to add the subdivision modifier to see the effect. Increase the level. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so now I will add a circle. Shift A, it will be a curve circle. So this is the one. Where is it? Oh, this is big. I'll scale it down, and in my front view raise this up, and then I will rotate this so it is facing camera. So rotate in the along the x-axis and press 90. Scale it further, zoom in, raise it up, and then scale it further, maybe somewhere here, and I can apply the scale. Control A, apply the scale, and I will add thickness to this. So come over here to the curve settings and expand the geometry, and then we can give some thickness to it, 0.5. Okay, I can increase this, so somewhat like this, so it's fine. And I'll rotate this 90. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so I will increase the size, scale it. Okay, so I can bring it out just a little bit, just touching the surface, and then raise it up so it's sitting on top of the platform over here. Okay, All right, so this is how the connection is made. I'll make multiple copies of it. So Alt T, and I will push this out, just place it next to it. Alt T again, and then move it in the X and just place it next to it. Okay, so I'm making the connection over here, and now this space will be used for our next step. Okay, so I will continue. So far this is taking a nice shape. Okay, so now I will move on to creating this. So I'll switch to my front view, and I will start with a point. So Shift A, curve, point, and I'll expand the settings. The type will be 3D, and the curve type will be Bezier this time. All right, so I'll minimize this, raise this up somewhere here, or actually somewhere here. Okay, and then I'll start to extrude this. So I'll extrude this here, and then I can adjust the handles, rotate this and rotate this. Okay, and then I'll extrude, bring it over here, rotate it. Okay, extrude one more time, rotate it. Let me go into the wireframe, you can see better, and then extrude one last time and rotate it. So now let me adjust this. I can scale it, making it smoother, just moving it in place, move this down, so somewhat like this. Okay, maybe I'll bring this in more and rotate it, something like this. So I'm happy with this. So I will turn on, actually it needs just a little bit of movement. Okay, come over here to the curve settings, and under the geometry, under the bevel, I will give some thickness. Okay, one is way too much. Something which is less thick than this, 0.3 or 0.2, 0.18. All right, so this one I will just rotate it slightly, scale it slightly, and let me position this. Fine. Okay, so now for the end piece, what I will be creating is, let me position this, bring this down so it's sitting on top of this, centralize it just a little bit. Right, so I will create a sphere. Shift A, mesh, and I will create an ico sphere. Okay, and expand the settings. Let me zoom out. What's going on here? And I can scale it down, move this up in place, scale it down further, so somewhat like this. All right, so now let me start to modify this. Press tab. So all of these faces that I see, so I'll select them, and I will try to extrude. Let me switch to the face mode and come over here to face, extrude individual faces. Okay, once I do this, I can move the mouse and then accept it, and then scale it further how much I want, so maybe about here. And now what I want to do is come over here. At the moment we have this selected, so instead of this I will change this to individual origins. Okay, so click on it, And now if I try to scale this time, so it will individually scale it, and this is what I wanted. Okay, this is looking nice. And now I can come back, switch to the default, press tab, and now I will take this and place it over here. And let me take a look. Okay, so this is fine. So I'll make a copy of it. But before doing it, I would like to give a bevel effect to the entire object. So press tab, select everything, press Ctrl B, and just a little bit, maybe 0.85. Yeah, that's fine. Yes. And now I can make a duplicate of it, but I will make it an instance. So Alt T, bring it over here, and then just place it over here. Okay, so this is good. So what I can do is select all of these and push this outside, closer here. I'll make multiple copies of it and change the position. I'll make a duplicate of it, Shift D, and press G so I can move it in the green line, G and Y for the green line, so it's there in the center somewhere. And and now I will just move it up somewhere here and bring this, and then I'll try to connect it. So let me bring this out this side and take this one and push it out on the other side. Okay, and then you will understand in a minute. And now this one I will try to connect. Okay, so we have variety. So press tab in my wireframe so I can see better. Press G, connect it over here, rotate it somewhere like this, and then this one I'll just push it all the way down, and I can scale it also. Press R to rotate, and then just position it, scale it, just to make the curve follow the flow. Okay, and then I'll just connect it, scale it, and rotate it, and scale it. Okay, so it's very easy to manipulate this. Okay, and now I would like to move it and position it correctly. So where is it? Yeah, so move it in the Y and then connect this in the center. Okay, same thing I will do for this one, and press G and then move it out. Okay, so I will just take this part, shift select it, and then I will isolate it. Press the / on the keyboard. So let's take a look from the right view. So at the moment it's flat over here, so it needs to have a natural flow. All right, so press tab, and this one I will take it, move it, and then rotate it, so it just takes a natural flow. And then this one I can just move it. Okay, and this one rotate it, move it, rotate it just a little bit, so it follows the flow. All right, yeah, so this is looking much better. All right, and you get the idea. I can just scale it just to smooth out anything that's not fine. We can adjust it, but that's fine for now. I will just exit the isolation, and you get the idea. So I'll create more copies of it and adjust the position of it. But for now, I think this one needs to come in, this one needs to go down a bit, something like this, and then I'll just try to connect it. Okay, just move it, rotate it, so you get the idea. Just trying to have a little bit of a variety. Rotate it, and then just push it, rotate it, so it has a nice flow to it. Okay, so this one I can just rotate it. Okay, nice flow to it. Okay, now this gap I want to fill it by duplicating this one. Okay, Shift T and push it down in the Z somewhere here, and I will take this and bring it out and down somewhere here, and take this one, push it out somewhere here, out. Okay, now this one we will modify. Take this and just connect it over here, scale it down, move it out, rotate it, so just to follow the flow, rotate it. Okay, we have a natural flow going on. And now first I will fix it from the front view, and then I'll take a look if it needs adjustment from other angle. So rotate it, scale it down, and then just push it out. So just editing it as I see it. Push it down somewhere here, and I think this is taking shape. Okay, and now let's take a look. Yeah, this is looking better. Okay, and just one last I will create from the front view. So again I will duplicate this one, Shift T to duplicate, right click, it is selected, and I will isolate it. So what I will do is, for now I'll just shift select one of these and press the slash /. Okay, so now I can easily modify it without confusing with the existing one. Okay, so first I will position these, raise it up somewhere here, almost like they are crossing paths. All right, okay, so now this one just need to connect it, G, and then this one I'll scale it, rotate it, and then move it in place. Okay, and now this one, scale it, move it, connect it, rotate it, and this one I'll just move it and rotate it, scale it, so that maybe scale it down. And now I would like to take this out. Okay, and this one will go way out. Okay, and basically what I'm trying to do is scale it out so that this is coming from the outside. Okay, all right, so from the right or left view I will rotate to make the flow better, and then this one I'll just push it out somewhere here. Okay, so this is much better. Actually I would like to bring other parts of the big ring, so I'll select everything, exit the isolation, and I will shift select all of these, and then this piece as well, Okay, and maybe all of these rings, and then this. So I'll isolate one more time. Now I can see better. So push this out just a little bit more, and this one needs to come out a bit more. Okay, so this will be outside. Okay, let's go to the left view. Push this out like this. It's much better. Okay, now let's fix the other side. Bring this out, connect this. So this will go here, and then try to scale it, and then this should come out like this. Yeah. Okay, and then from the top view I'll adjust the flow of it, and then push this out further, just like this. Okay, so you get the idea what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay, so this is good, and then let me just attach this so that it is connected to this ring. Okay, it's already attached, so this is good. Let's exit the isolation and see the result. / okay, press the N. Okay, so this is the result so far, and the modeling of this lovely table lamp is complete, and I hope you were able to learn something from it, and give a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and see you in the next video in another episode with some new stuff to model. So take care and bye bye.